Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. Going to do a fairly quick video. Went more in depth in the video yesterday talking about how I was trading and positioning myself for the daily high or low that we were anticipating. We now have our daily high or low. We'll look at some details as to how that's playing out. Certainly a battle going on the short-term time frames. But a lot of people were saying, going for a 1% trade, why does that matter? If you factor in fees, that ends up being nothing. So when you're trading with $10 million, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not trading with $10 million. Then 1% would be worth it. But it's not about the 1%. It's about the other half of the trade. I take 1% on half of my trade, and then I set my stop loss at break even. Number one, psychologically speaking, I have nothing to worry about. I am risk-free in that trade. There is nothing better than being in a scenario where worst case scenario, $0, best case scenario, lots of dollars. So you're in a psychologically very happy place. And then it's the other half of the position. So if I locked in, I talked about yesterday, Bitcoin, I was entering at 9,611. I locked in 1% for half of it. My break even is down at 9,500 essentially. And now the second half of that position is currently up 3% more. So the entire position would now be up a total of 2%. So it's about letting the other half of the position play out. And for Litecoin, it went up even further. So I make 1% on one half, and then if I make 3, 5, 7% on the second half, that's when the trade's very worthwhile. Also, you have to establish what your goals are. My goal in 2017 was make as much profit as humanly possible. And to do that, I shaped my entire life around trading cryptocurrency, sleep schedule, who I was hanging out with, what plans I was making. If cryptocurrency was volatile, no thanks, sorry, I can't hang out tonight. I'm going to spend the next 10 hours in front of the computer screen because I'm in a limited opportunity scenario and I'm trying to change my life. So that's where I was in 2017. In 2019, I'm not there anymore. I'm in goal number one, rather than being make as much profit as possible, is conserve profit. Don't give anything back. That's goal number one. Goal number two is keep adding some icing on the cake. That's where I stand. So these 1, 3, 5% moves, I'll take those all day long. It's also a scenario where I have a lot more capital trading stocks. Stocks is my main source of capital gains income. It's not cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a nice bonus. So again, everybody's situation is different. When I'm saying this is what I'm doing, it's not a blanket statement. This is what everybody should be doing because everybody's situation is different as individuals. So Bitcoin, we have our daily high or low established. And right now, if we drop down to a lower low, below the low of yesterday on any of these coins, that's a red flag for the bulls. That makes the bears extremely comfortable. So our higher low for Bitcoin is 9,507. We'll just call it 9,500. And anything under 11,112 is just a lower high. So low, high, higher low, looking for a lower high to be set. And have we set that lower high yet? Well, have we lost the 4-hour uptrend? We're not even really in a 4-hour uptrend. So I need to see a higher low set here on the 4-hour time frame and a bull break of 10,185. And if that happens, then we'll say, okay, our new 4-hour higher low is set. If that level breaks, our daily lower high is set. So I would not consider our daily lower high set, and I don't even really consider this bounce with any real legs yet. The bulls haven't proved anything to us. They saw a nice move with increased bull volume off of the low, but we have not confirmed a 4-hour trend change, which is why I say that if we were to fade all the way back down to 9,500 and lose that support, big red flag for the bulls. So I personally have ended up taking a little bit more position off. So again, from that 9,611 entry, I ended up moving up a stop loss under 10,000 after trading sideways this significantly. I said, if we're going to break 10,000, I want to take a little bit more profit. So again, just slowly chipping away, scaling out some positions, and I'm going to leave some small positions for the potential that we see a daily equilibrium that eventually breaks bullish next week. But if it breaks bearish, you better believe I'm going to get stopped out and go back to all cash. Litecoin is the other position that I'm in. Not convinced yet. Again, the 4-hour trend change is needed. We have our low, high of the bounce, higher low is 86.11. Have we changed the 4-hour trend? And the answer is not convincingly. So low, high of the bounce, and no real follow through with a higher low and higher high. So I need one more leg up from bulls if I'm going to be confident that an equilibrium can play out on the daily time frame. And if we don't get that leg up tonight over the next 12 hours, then again, big red flag for the bulls, and we have to recognize that. So for Litecoin, we are looking at short-term support of 92.56. Key resistance is 97.36. Top of the bounce for everybody is the most important level. We were close to changing the daily trend on LTC, BTC. That would have been best case scenario for the bulls, but we have a daily equilibrium. So a tightening daily range for US dollars, a tightening daily range for the Bitcoin pairing, and we're just waiting for breaks of both of those sometime in the next few days. If you are not in positions at this point, it's going to be choppy on the short-term time frames. And let's just look at Bitcoin real quick. 15-minute time frame, big spike, big dump, bounce, just a whole lot of unclear action. So if I were not in positions, I would just be patiently waiting for a break of this tightening daily range, knowing that I should be pumping the brakes as a trader when ranges are tightening. And I should be pumping the accelerator as a trader when tightening ranges break. That's when we get the volatility and the volume that we want to trade in. And right now we're in a daily tightening range scenario. So either babysitting trades that we're already in and placing our key levels, or patiently waiting. So the Litecoin Bitcoin chart, key support is down at 89, key resistance is 99, and waiting for a break as we're right in the middle of that range. ETH, daily high or low is set. So low, high, higher, low. Anything under 236.58 is just a lower high. 4-hour time frame. Again, we didn't confirm a trend change. It was a significant enough bounce that we can say that's our daily high or low. And if that support level breaks, it's a big red flag. But we still need that higher low and higher high to really see that momentum shift. Ethereum has held up the best on this bounce. And that's because the ETH BTC chart got right up. 2239 was key resistance. And we broke it just barely. I personally would still consider that a double top. But, you know, if we're going by the book here, it technically was a higher high. So that favors Ethereum a little bit more than Bitcoin. So Ethereum in the last 12 hours, the bounce more significant, or I should say the last 24 hours, the bounce is more significant than both Litecoin and Bitcoin, so the bulls have a bit more space to work with. What it all boils down to is, can the 4-hour trend change on Bitcoin with a higher low and higher high into tonight? I look at this 4-hour time frame, and I absolutely expect a 4-hour higher low to form after that size of a bounce. So, patiently waiting for the bulls tonight. ETH BTC definitely needs more follow through than this. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, higher lows established down at 2194. If that level were to break, I would consider this a double top rejection. Have to see a 4-hour trend change and follow through in order to be saying, okay, daily trend has now changed, and then we would zoom out to the weekly, and of course we would just be looking for a weekly lower high to form, but at least the oversold bounce would get some momentum behind it. XRP, same story as everybody else. We've got our low, high of the bounce, higher low, very weak follow through at this point. The 4-hour time frame has not changed the trend. The bulls have to establish a support and break the high of the bounce 324 in order to have any confidence of trying to shift the daily momentum. If we fall back down to 3025 support, big red flag, and we're going to be looking to test the consolidation lows on everybody if we see these names fade back to those support levels. Binance, again, holding up better than everybody else because we have the most space to work with for the daily higher low to form, and it has formed at 2774. Has the 4-hour trend changed? And it has, technically speaking, low, high of the bounce, higher low, higher high. It's not convincing, but it's a more clear 4-hour trend change than other names have seen. Short-term resistance is 2966. Next, we're looking at 3007, and bulls want to make their way at least back towards the low $30 range to get to the midway point of this tightening daily range. Link USD, looking for the daily higher low as everybody else is, and we have found it. Higher low is set at 225, and need to see a bit more follow through over 251. Again, 4-hour time frame, tightening range, 254 is a double top. 254, 252 have to convincingly break that level for us to get back to the midway point and look for a daily tightening range. Right now, if you show me these daily charts and say, where do we stand? I would say the bears have the advantage still. And that's because we have upper wicks right now. We don't have follow through in terms of setting the daily higher low and then making our way back up towards resistance. And it's completely, again, the burden of proof, completely on the bulls into tonight to change the 4-hour trends convincingly and head back to the midway point to even give us a daily equilibrium. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. And again, keeping a tight leash on what I have left. I'm slowly scaling out after making some entries, looking for the daily high or low, and ending up at a point where I will be happily back as all cash and waiting for a break of tightening ranges if the bears force my hand. So I appreciate you watching. We'll check back in tomorrow and see if the bulls were successful or not. It's very clear as to what we're looking for and what is needed. Have to break the highs of the current bounce by tomorrow morning for me. It's currently 3:48 p.m. Eastern. So I'll give the bulls a handful of hours here, another half dozen hours or so, to shift this momentum. Thanks again. Do good things out there. Don't have any new content, so we'll go back to Airlie Gardens in Wilmington, North Carolina. Some botanical gardens from a couple months ago. And I'll see you all tomorrow.